Super BS. Welcome back, my bros and brosefs. Here is old Branky Poo, a super BS, ready to give you the news and break some bread. Who am I joined with today?
Hey, Jankerson, Josh Peterson.
Nice. Josh Palderson, entrepreneur, professor at DeVry University. Just getting the word out, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How was your week, dude? You watching any cool things?
Dude, I did not, but I did go out and buy Blade Runner 2049.
Did you see it?
I saw it before, but it's one of those movies where I feel like if I could get up to go to the bathroom during it and pause it, I would get more out of the movie. So
that's why you get on iPad, so you can go to the bathroom while watching it.
No, that's a good idea. Because I did get up to go to the bathroom twice in the movie, and I feel like I might have missed something. So I want to be able to watch it, pause it, and then get back to it when I can.
Well, what I like doing is I like playing my bathroom breaks around the movie. So I like going to the bathroom 3 times during the movie, 1 time during the break, but then I also like a bathroom before and a bathroom after. We're talking about bathrooms at the movies, right? We're not talking about Blade Runner.
Yeah. just in general.
All the time. That's our main thing is we just want to talk about how many times we go to the bathroom. Did you watch anything new?
Anything new? I watched a movie on Amazon Prime that was actually really bad, so I didn't finish it. It's called, I actually don't even remember what it was called. It was about a guy who just got released from prison, and he's writing a screenplay, and he's like narrating his life.
Is it the Adam Driver movie?
I think it is.
It's oh my goodness, it was super famous, like 2006. Patterson.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
How it wasn't good?
It was. It gets boring. Like it's
my favorite type.
I'm committed to it already, so I feel like I need to finish it. But I don't know when I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I watched The Greatest Showman with my family.
Okay, how was that?
It was more like The Lamest Showman. No, I'm just joking. It was okay. It's the ultimate cheese film. It is like, oh yeah, and this guy, he's really good and cares about people, but he does a bad thing. But then he's good. Like, it's one of those.
I've heard mixed things about this. So there's 2 crowds of people. They're the people who are saying, oh, it's the best movie. The music is so great. I feel so inspired. And there's another crowd of people who are saying, don't go see it. The guy was racist, and he's promoting racism and bullying and stuff like that. But I don't know where I stand on that issue, because I feel like he did give people who had nowhere else to go, and like he was they were frowned upon in society, and he gave them like...
So pretty much what you're talking about is there's 2 different groups of people. The people who are actually talking about the real P.T. Barnum, who was a racist, terrible person. However, he did say one thing which was really good about, I can't remember the exact quote, but it was talking about slavery, and it was really, really actually uplifting and talking about in the eyes of God or creator, whatever, all men are equal.
Right.
And he did a lot of really cool things, but he was also known as the guy that, and I guess he didn't actually coin this phrase, but it was attributed to him. There's a sucker born every minute. So he was definitely somebody who was like out there to take money from people and use people. And so I don't know, man. About his life, I could care less. The music is, I don't know. It is today's music. It's not like, I don't think it's going to hold up in a year, let alone 2 years.
Was it a musical, though?
It is. Oh, it's a big time musical.
All right.
It wasn't like, it was enjoyable to listen to, I guess, but it's like, overproduced. A lot of, what's that thing called? Like, I used to know this. Melodyne. It like shifts your vocal change, so you don't have to worry. Auto-tune. Auto-tune. Lots of auto-tune.
Little T-Pain going on.
Yeah, a little bit of like a lot of the vocals in the songs are like, literally there's a song called Never Enough, and it's supposed to, just want to reveal this one, huge spoilers. We're a Greatest Showman spoiler cast now. No, there's a time where he goes, and I guess this is true, he hired an opera singer and took her around the country so she could sing. But their rendition of her singing opera is her singing just like 4 words and like very like pop, like emotion, like using her hands a lot. And the song was enjoyable, I guess, but it was kind of cringeworthy at the same time because it was like, never enough, never enough, never enough. And you're like, it's enough. Please stop it.
So it was awkward to watch more than listen to?
I mean, I think, my family loved it, but for me, I was just like, can't she come up with other words? Because I've had enough of those words. It was enough. Never enough was definitely wrong. But yeah, man, I also caught, and I'm sorry we're doing the movie hour right now, but I watched some movies recently. I also watched The Post.
Yeah.
Did I talk about that last week?
We talked about
oh
that
my
a little
goodness.
bit
Yeah,
last
okay, I don't
week.
need to bring it up again.
And
I loved it. It was
sorry,
great.
guys. I just got a message. If the
That we're
live
awesome.
feed for this show is kind of bad right now, we're kind of testing some things. So we're working on the internet situation. But for now, thanks for bearing with us here.
And the live feed is amazing, and whoever sent that is obviously trying to bring us down, okay? Because it's never enough
This
for
is
us.
how podcasts fail, okay? It's angry text messages.
Angry text messages from one person we're done. The listener has quit.
Shout out to Daniel Neitz.
Thank you, Daniel. So what have you been playing, man?
I've been playing 3 things. I've been playing.
You can only tell me about one.
Yeah, 1.5. I will tell you. I've been diving back into the Halo franchise. I don't know why. Like, I like to go back and refresh my mind on franchises when they become popular in the news again.
What happened with Halo?
Well, with Halo, last week they announced that while we might not see Halo 6, there are 2 Halo projects in the works over at 343, and they actually hired a bunch of people to come on and work on these unnamed projects. So the theory is that we're going to be getting we might not see Halo 6 until 19?
Halo 6 Siege.
Yeah. But we're going to be getting like an ODST/Reach standalone type game.
Okay. I mean, that could be cool. I did not like Reach as much as almost anyone. I did not like that game at all.
I liked it and I didn't. I liked the character development in the game.
I heard it's great.
Which was really good. That the gameplay, it's just same old. It's not really anything new. You do get to fly spaceships around.
That's cool. Yeah.
But as far as like, I loved ODST though, just because the whole like feeling of the game, the atmosphere, the music, the ambiance of like trying to figure out what happened to your team. Like, it's more of a detective game than anything else.
That was cool. For me personally, I think I had enough of Halo after Halo 3, so much so that I really didn't revisit the series till 5. I skipped 4 entirely. I mean, that's not true. I bought it. I played one mission. I played one mission of Reach. And I played maybe the first third of ODST, like 2 or 3 minutes. I enjoyed them all, but it's just like, I think I was done at that point.
Yeah, see, that's the thing too. Like, you have like the original trilogy 1 through 3, and then you go through and you play it, and once you jump back into 4, and while 4 looks beautiful, and 343 did a great job with the way the game looks, it just doesn't really capture that nostalgia. Because in Halo, the elements of like the Forerunners were mysterious. So you're going through there playing, and you're uncovering the mystery of what happened in this lost civilization. And then once you see the lost civilization in this new game, it kind of, I don't know, it ruins that sense of intrigue you have, and then it stops being about mystery and is more just like, hey, survive while all these people are shooting at you, and then we'll try to throw some kind of story in there for you.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't dig it. I thought the premise was okay with Cortana going rogue. I thought that was kind of cool, but I just didn't find enough. So what Halo game are you playing, though? You mentioned you...
So, yeah, I'm playing Reach. I want to eventually go through... I want to, make my way back through all of them. I'm not going to play Halo Wars just because those games frustrate the hell out of me.
You mean you love it? Halo Wars 2, Jank's game of the year.
So much, yeah, definitely. But yeah, so I'm trying to play through that. I'm on the 3rd mission right now, and so it's kind of like you're running through.
They're all separated by playing as different characters, correct?
No, you play as one character. You're Noble 6, and he's basically replacing someone else who died on a Spartan team. Okay. And so the one I'm on right now is kind of like the not silent cartographer. The what's the map in Halo 1 where you have the sniper? Is that?
Oh my goodness, man! I know what one you're talking about.
Truth and Reconciliation. I think
so. But you're trying to go up to the alien spaceship, right?
Right. So that's kind of like what this one is. You're playing with the sniper guy from the squad, and you're just trying to go through and
to an alien spaceship.
Yeah, to an alien spaceship. It's pretty much no, exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. And you literally follow the same route.
Literally, yeah. So I've been playing that, and I've also jumped into... So I have never played Bioshock Infinite, and I had it on my hard drive.
Ever?
Never. And I figured, like, why not, man? So
are you playing the remasters or the 360?
I'm playing the 360 one.
Okay.
But the game is... It's, like, beautiful, but it's also horrifying. Like, I see it's such an important social piece in video games, but it's like you see, I don't know, like you see all like these people and you're like, oh yeah, they just want to, they're trying to live their lives, but then they turn on you with that like cult mentality, and it just scares the hell out of you.
Did you play Bioshock 1?
I did. I played 1 and 2.
So I think 1 to me is more horrifying about humanity than Infinite. Infinite is really good, and it talks a lot about that era of humanity and like what happens, when they move to the clouds. I really enjoyed it. I have no interest in going back. I actually never even beat the DLC, which really interested me, where you go to Under the Sea, the 2 DLC packs.
Is that in Infinite?
Yeah, they have 2
Really?
DLC packs, and you go to Bioshock essentially again.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, or whatever. I can't remember what the name of the Bioshock world is. If Donna was here, he'd tell us.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But it's
the thought was there for a second, and then it went away.
Well, man, I'm surprised you didn't get the remasters. They're like as low as like $10-$20 sometimes for all 3 of the games.
I already had this one on my hard drive.
Okay.
I just had not played it because I got it for free. They were during one of the Games with Gold weekend.
Okay.
And I didn't play it because I was playing something else at the time. But then like I beat Tomb Raider, and so I just needed something to hold me over till Rise of the Tomb Raider got to me in the mail. And I like it. It's fun. I'm hoping to see. Bioshock has kind of adopted that formula of like, hey, we're gonna have somebody yell at you through a speaker while you run through these rooms and buildings and stuff, trying to figure out where this guy is, and how he connects to you. But it's an interesting game. And then,
speaking of that, though, real quick, I think one thing that Bioshock does better than almost any other first-person shooter in relaying lore and context is the audio logs. The fact that you can play those, and while you're walking around, like I learned so much about the story, whereas a lot of first-person shooters, I don't have the interest to sit down and read the lore. Even the Rise of the Tomb Raider, I didn't sit down and read all the lore that they give you, because they give you a ton, or even listen to all the voice acting, because the second you close it to go back to play, it's stops. So you have to like open it and sit there and read and do that. And I'm a lazy boy, okay? I don't want to do that stuff. Game 3, I can guess what it is already, but tell us.
Game 3 is Rise of the Tomb
Raider.
Raider.
Jinx.
Yomi Soda.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it. Like,
it's awesome.
There's one part I don't like, is that you can't just pick up weapons like you did in the last one. You have to buy stuff from like the stores and all that.
Really? You don't find each weapon once and then buy the other versions of it?
Oh, I don't know. Is that what that is? Because right now I have a bow and arrow and I have a pistol, and I wanted like a shotgun and a machine gun, but it said I had to buy it from that guy who's like camped out in the Soviet thing.
I'm almost positive that's not how it works.
Okay.
I'm pretty positive you pick up each weapon and then he sells like different versions, but he doesn't sell a ton of stuff. That's why you use those coins. Have you been finding those coins?
Yeah.
Use those to buy from him.
Okay.
Where are you in the game?
I am. So I just did the. Found the guy in the jail cell. I let him out.
Okay.
And then you find out
Jacob?
that
Is that Jacob?
Jacob.
Okay.
And then you find out that the dad's girlfriend or whatever, it was
Anna.
It was a traitor.
We got a crazy spoiler cast coming up soon whenever we find time to release it about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to beat it before I listen to it, or before it goes up, so I don't have to worry about having the old story spoiled. But
we're gonna spoil it for you. I'm gonna just spoil right now, just in case you don't listen to it. I don't want you to
just tell me how it ends right now, just so I don't have to keep playing it.
Yeah.
No, it's a great, like, it's a fun game. It's great. It looks beautiful. Like, I thought that the Tomb Raider remaster on the one I just got done playing looked good, but this game looks even better.
Yeah, it is really amazing. I've heard with an Xbox One X, it's like one of the best looking games ever, but I don't have an X, so I'll probably, I don't know, whenever I get an X and then I need to get a 4K HDR TV, then I'll know, but it will be a while before that. I didn't get a chance to ask you when you were talking about Bioshock. Where are you in that?
So I just got the electricity thing that makes the trolley run.
Oh, have you gotten to like, I don't know what to call it. There's like 2 bosses at this place, and it's like a big square courtyard with a lot of lumber mill, I want to say.
No, not yet.
Oh my goodness, that's like, if I remember that correctly, that was my least favorite fighting. So I didn't like the combat in that game.
It's very, like, it's confusing because I don't like how when you're being shot you can't tell where it's coming from.
Yeah, it's terrible. That Wolfenstein, the New Order, and Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus, kind of suffer from a similar thing where it's like you're getting shot. They need like force feedback rumble.
They do. The thing about Wolfenstein though is that like when you fight, you're in enclosed spaces, so there's only so many places where the bullets can come from. But in Bioshock, they put you out into these big open areas, and you have to just kind of guess. Like you can have guys who like I got into this firefight where I got a sniper rifle, and I'm being shot from people up on like 5-story balconies. I have no idea where this is coming from. I just got to keep scanning and hope I don't get shot in the process.
Yeah, I mean that is like an annoying thing, but yeah, I mean, like I said, the combat's not the strong point. The strong point's the story in that game and the exploration and finding out about the world. But
do you think we're gonna see another Bioshock anytime soon?
I mean, Prey is essentially the spiritual successor to Bioshock, so we just saw it this year. It's really good too. I can't recommend it enough. It didn't make my game of the year just because the load times on Xbox are atrocious. I've heard if you have an Xbox One X or a solid state drive or even playing on PS4, you can get the load times down to like 30 seconds, but they were sometimes going up to a minute and a half to 2 minutes, and you have to go through corridors nonstop. But it is a very cool. There was somebody I was interviewing today, which we'll have up probably next week. It's an immersive
content.
Yeah, immersive sim where you kind of just walk around a space station, explore it, and find stuff. So yeah, that style of game is still going to exist, but I don't know if we're going to see another Bioshock branded thing. Mainly because isn't the dude who created Bioshock, or isn't he like working on a movie?
He is Ken Levine.
Yeah, isn't he working on what's that movie about everybody over 40 that gets killed? That's a 70s film, like Logan's Run.
Oh, yeah. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
He's working on that? Okay.
I think he's working on the script. That's the last time I heard.
Honestly, though, like he's, not that there's an age for what, in the industry, but like good for him for going, chasing that movie dream, because he's good at what he does. He's very creative, but he's also getting up there in age. So he's might
like
as well.
Late 40s?
Yeah. So he might as well like pursue other things while he can,
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. We could talk about him for a while, but we'll talk about some personalities in gaming soon. I'll tell you what I've been playing. I haven't been playing a ton.
What have you been playing?
But I've been playing Watchdogs 2. I may have mentioned that to you years ago. Do you remember that right when we started?
Yes.
Yeah, so I have come back to it. I want to say I was 50 or 60% done when I left it. So I'm going to try to wrap that up. I really enjoyed that game. I love going around virtual San Francisco and just kind of like hanging out and, doing the different side missions, and the game's just fun. It's a good game. It's not as good as this year's Assassin's Creed, but it is definitely like better than previous Assassin's Creeds.
I love how the two games are connected to each other.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool thing. So I played that. I also have been digging into more Super Mario Odyssey, which is like amazing. But yeah, I mean, obviously we've talked about that enough. So I'm at Luncheon Kingdom, which, if you remember, is like 1.5 worlds away from the end, pretty much. Well, 2.5 worlds away.
Luncheon Kingdom, is that the one where
their cooking place and all the food?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much at the end of that again.
That was actually a lot of fun. Like I liked the elements of like finding the vegetables and dropping them in the pot.
Yeah, that's a good one. And that whole game is so great. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about that because we talked about it to death. I'm also, the main thing that I played though and finished was I played and one of the reasons why we haven't done a ton of stuff is we recorded last Thursday and we put it up so we could talk about Nintendo Labo, and it's Monday, so we'll get this up in a day or two. So we haven't had a lot of downtime between the last time we played and now. Like, it was like 3 days.
Hey, but you're welcome for that content, internet.
Yeah. But yeah, so I beat South Park Fractured Butthole. It was awesome. It was cool. Really good ending. Combat is not something I dig. Are you gonna play it?
Yeah, you had mentioned it's coming to Switch because I was originally
rumor.
I was gonna buy it, and
Don't
then
wait.
you told me.
So here's the catch is that it is probably coming to Switch, and hopefully in March we'll know probably by next month if it's gonna come or not. I assume there'll be either direct or they'll announce it separately. If we don't hear anything by mid-February, I doubt it's gonna make it March. That's a rumor. That'll probably be like the Mass Effect HD remasters that we heard about.
Okay.
But the problem is, even if it does come to Switch, you're looking at $60 for something that you can often get for 30 or less now. So
That's true. I mean, I guess
it's a trade-off.
It depends on where I'm at and what I'm playing at the time. So like if that's, if I get to the point where I absolutely want to play South Park, I'll probably just go out and buy it for Xbox or PlayStation or whatever. But if I get to the point and it comes out on Switch and I haven't played it yet, I might consider picking it up for for that console.
Yeah, I think it would be better to play on Switch, to be honest. And if I didn't own it and already beat it, I probably would have picked it up on Switch. I'm not going to double dip. Like, I just don't see the point. I liked Stick of Truth a lot. Like, that was a great game. That
was fun. That was a sleeper hit for me. Like, I wasn't expecting anything out of it, and ended up totally surpassing what I wanted.
It came out after the Xbox One, so it was kind of like the end of the 360.
Right.
And it was short. It was funny. Every joke landed. I don't feel the same about Fractured But Whole. I don't think all the jokes are as good. I don't think the combat's as much fun. There are a lot of things I like. You know how in Stick of Truth there were just you and a party member?
Yeah.
Now you get to create a team. So that's really cool.
How many players do you get at once?
You get 4 people you control.
Okay.
So the new kid and plus 3 other people.
Do you switch them out?
You can switch them out if you want. They all have different powers.
Okay.
It's really cool. However, the problem is leveling is essentially useless. You know how you had a talent tree and they don't have that anymore.
No. Okay. So how do you progress in your abilities and stuff?
You get classes, and as the game progresses, you unlock sets of 3 classes, and at the very end, you can swap between any of the classes. Whenever you want, you can take like one ability from this class, one ability from this class, and one. So that's about it. You don't upgrade the abilities. You don't do anything. Fighting is essentially just you fight for the sake of fighting.
Okay.
After level 10, you don't gain anything for fighting. At least not that I've seen.
Does that make it nice though? Like there's less pressure to beef up your guy, and you can just kind of enjoy the story from there?
So it makes it nice in some ways, like you said, but I actually liked the combat in Stick of Truth, and I liked beefing up to fight Al Gore. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, but I have no reason to go fight Morgan Freeman.
Okay.
Like, why would I go fight him? Just because it's a funny battle?
Is he optional, or is he?
He's an optional boss. I probably shouldn't have. That's kind of a spoiler. IGN did a video of you fighting Morgan Freeman like the first week the game came out, so I think it's fair ground.
IGN is so rude with their spoilers.
It was crazy, man. I didn't even realize that, and then I didn't even ever go fight him just because I heard he's a really hard boss. But like I said, I'll see if once the DLC rolls around. If Donna loves it, maybe I'll pick it up. But I don't know, man. I think I'm done with that one.
Yeah. Okay. So it has no. Is there DLC coming out? Is there any replay value to you? Like,
no.
Is it worth it?
No replay. Like, I would replay Stick of Truth. Like, if I have time, I plan on doing that. But this one, I don't think I'll ever replay. Like, I didn't find any of it fun or funny enough.
Okay.
There were moments that were really funny, but I just didn't find I gotta see that again. It would be like my least favorite part of Stick of Truth is probably the alien section.
Oh, yeah. That was, I don't remember how long it took me to get through that. I actually wanted to get up and play something else while I was going through that.
Yeah.
It pulled me out of the game, much like a movie does when it does something stupid, and I just don't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah, so imagine that, and that felt like almost every night mission, which if the game still follows a similar story structure, 3 days, 3 nights type thing. So yeah, man, I wish I loved it more. Right now, so I'm just going through clearing the backlog. I'll probably do Watchdogs 2, hopefully be finished with it by the next time we meet. And, I also I haven't decided if I'm doing Doom or Wolfenstein or what yet, because there's a bunch of
Watchdogs 2 real quick. Are there any ties to Assassin's Creed? That's what I loved about Origins, was that there was a tie-in that linked, Assassin's Creed and Bloom and the Aiden Pierce even into the Assassin's Creed Origins.
So it's probably in there. I think we talked about this when we talked about Assassin's Creed. I could care less about their lore and about most of the stuff in the game. I love the gameplay. I think it's amazingly fun. I don't care that much about the story. I don't go to these games for their story.
Right. Okay.
I'm only beating the game because I liked it so much and I thought I should just beat it. I was just having fun doing the side missions.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So it is very similar to Assassin's Creed Origins, where I kind of beat that game out I do a gaming podcast. I should wait till I finish it, to give my full.
So I played through the first one, and it was one of those games where the story felt very short to me.
Yeah.
But the side quests, there are so many side quests, and at points in the game it feels almost overwhelming. So like I'm hesitant to jump back into that universe.
So it's same. It's all Ubisoft games. I mean, Assassin's Creed I felt like did a little bit better. They do have a lot of side quests, but you didn't have to do like any of them, and they didn't feel necessary.
I in Assassin's Creed I liked how they didn't have the random races and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like that.
I think you can find that stuff. Like I think you do chariot races.
Yeah. That's
never
right.
did
In
that.
the gladiatorial arena. That's correct.
I never did either of those, but I didn't feel like I needed to, and I had a lot of fun playing anyways. Watchdogs definitely has them on the map. It still is like kind of, I want to say like old Ubisoft, where it's like
classic.
Map is filled with stuff. There's a list of side operations, but
right.
To be honest, a lot of them are fun. Like I've been doing like the police ones and a few of the other ones, and that's kind of the main appeal.
And you can go back and play them, correct, after you finish the story?
That I don't know. I assume that's almost all Ubisoft games allow you to continue to play after the story. I don't know anyone that's like.
So it just gives you something to do. If you don't have a back catalog, it's nice to have something to do.
I think Ubisoft is one of the companies that's like, hey, you only want to buy 2 games a year? Buy 2 of our games. You won't be able to play them each for 9 months.
This is how we take out the competition.
I mean, literally, I feel like all of their games are almost games as service style, but they're all built in at the beginning, at the get-go.
Do you know who I think their market is probably like pointing at mostly is like the kid who is in high school and gets video games as like birthday and Christmas presents.
Yeah.
And you have that one kid who he gets that one or 2 games per year, and so he just needs something to play over and over and over.
I could totally see that, just because, like we mentioned, I mean, you get any Ubisoft game could easily be played for well over 100 hours.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
yeah.
I don't think I'll ever go into Assassin's Creed Origins again, but I played that. I mean, I loved it, but I just don't want to open that box again.
Right.
I played for 40 or 50 hours, and I had probably 20 to 40 side quests left, not including all of the fortresses or the elephants, or I didn't even kill all the phylactites.
Oh yeah, dude, I didn't even those guys were a pain in the butt because they always attacked me when I was in the middle of doing something.
I tried killing as many as I could, but there's 2 last ones that I want to say are the level 38 or level 40, and you can't attack them separately. If you attack one, the other one rushes across the map, and he brings 6 dudes with him, and it's like I was level 36 or 37, and I didn't want to level up to 40 and try, but I did love that game. That game was excellent.
Did you do the the one thing I didn't like about that game? I know we've talked about this. We beat this to death, but
sorry,
sorry, listeners. Sorry, guys. How I did all the side quests, but up until the part where you're in the upper sections of Egypt or where the Greeks and Romans are or whatever.
You're talking about the far upper left part of the map?
Yeah.
The really cool looking
it's
cool. Awesome, yeah.
So cool. But as you're doing this stuff, you're like, yeah, I did all the side quests. I'm like, my completionist is like, yeah, and then they throw 7 more side quests on there. I'm like, F this, dude. I don't even want to do this anymore.
Man, we could literally talk about that game for another hour. But honestly, I think we're going to take a super quick breaky poo for you live listeners. Just hold on for a sec, and then we're going to come back with a very little news. But we got some stuff we want to talk to you guys about.
Yeah.
Peace.
If you're tired of sifting through flea markets for rare and unique games, we can help. Retro City Games in Henderson, Nevada, only 5 minutes from the Las Vegas Strip, has all your favorite gaming staples, classics, and a wide selection of rare games with new stuff always appearing on our shelves. Come in and chat with Nicole or Doug about your love of games and watch as they help you complete your collection or find your childhood favorite. And don't forget, Retro City Games loves trade-ins. So if you have any Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, Xbox, PlayStation, or even PC games, come in and visit Retro City Games today. Welcome to the new metropolis of gaming, Retro City Games.
You never stop me.
No, I mean I was into it.
After 10 more minutes of that.
That's actually going to be the theme song in the new Star Wars Cantina.
Yeah.
So
we'll
episode 9, look out.
We will lose all of our listeners after we do a 10-minute version of that. Anyways, we're trying out a new segment. Old Janky Poo Josher himself came up with it. What is it? Share with me, my boy.
So this is called Personalities in the Industry. So every once in a while, we get these big news stories. We get these big games of and we actually get to know the person behind them. You know, Ken Levine, Cliff Bleszinski, Kojima, Tetsuya Nomura. You know, I might have said that wrong.
Donna's not here. No one's keeping track.
Yeah, but yeah, we hear a lot about these people, and then we hear nothing about them. So I want to make sure that we keep some of these people in the spotlight, and if they are deserving of your trolling time on Twitter, then by all means, troll away.
And digging up dirt every second we can.
Oh, yeah. We all got skeletons in our closet. Some people more than others. That's just a fact of life.
Who are we talking about today, my boy?
All right. Today, it's funny because I did want to talk about Ken Levine, but I want to save that to where I can actually, like, do some research. Right now, I want to talk about Guillermo del Toro.
That's cool. He's kind of game adjacent because he did... wasn't he part of like PT or something? Or no, he's part of
He's part of Death Stranding, and originally he was attached to write the last Silent Hill game before. Was it Capcom? Are they Capcom or Konami?
Konami. And it was PT was the playable teaser, it was called. It was supposed to be Silent Hills, if I remember correctly, and it was starring Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
Which is now pretty much just Death Stranding.
That turned into Death Stranding. But I want to talk about him specifically because like He's brilliant. He has, if you don't know who he is, he's done, his credits include the Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth. He was Pacific Rim. That was another one he wrote and directed.
He just did Shape of Water.
And he actually, good for him, he actually got nominated. I think he won something, didn't he?
Pan's Labyrinth, I think, was the Academy Award winner.
Yeah.
It's excellent, man. That's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, I love it. But like and Crimson Peak is another one he did.
That was a TV show, right?
No, it's a movie. It has Tom Hiddleston.
Okay, I didn't watch that one. I'm not a big horror fan, so I like his movies that are horror-like. They have weird stuff, but they're not like horror. And I know he does some horror stuff.
Because like even they're kind of like macabre, I guess you can call them. But like even macabre. Yeah, sorry, I'm like
that's all right.
pronouncing things wrong.
That's why I'm here.
Even like his scary stuff are like these big imaginative set pieces, and they're beautiful to watch.
They are. He's really inventive. But what do you want to share with us today about him?
So he is attached to Death Stranding. I know that Disney had actually hired. Was in talks to have him pen some kind of video game that they had coming out, and this was back D23 like 5 or 6 years ago, and I don't know if that ever
that's done.
That ever came through, but
no.
So
he canceled their last Star Wars game that was not multiplayer, so I don't think they're
sad times.
Can do that.
So I guess what I want to talk about is like how we have so many personalities in the industry right now that like take forever to make video games. So we have like your Nomura and your Kojimas, and Guillermo del Toro is one of those people who has such a big slate of projects that if he were to break into the industry, I feel like he would be awesome. Like if he were to write and direct a game, he would be awesome. Like it would be a beautiful game and it would be thought-provoking. But do we really want another person like that to make us wait years and years and years to play a game? Because we do enough of that right now, and Sony is especially bad at making us do that.
I think because of your love for Randy Pitchford and Borderlands, that's what made you decide to do this. Only because, and I will answer your question in a second, only because like these auteurs, I don't mind, like, yeah, sure, have more of them, like it's always good having people make games, because the worst thing that happens is the game's not great. Like, everybody make a game. If it's good, I'm sure the humanity will weed out what's good and what's not good.
Right.
I mean, you can even see that today with Steam's early access game, There Are Billions. Like I'd play it if I was more into PC gaming, but like there was 700 games that came out like in a month, I want to say, on Steam.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and somehow people are still finding these. So anyways, that was off topic, but so I mean, you'll find what's good and what's not good. So yeah, have him join the ranks. Have him throw his hat in. Maybe he'll make something that's really cool and really thought-provoking and like 6 hours and is perfect. So I don't. For me, there's no problem with having more people make games.
Yeah, and I mean that would be I'm totally down for that, and it'd be cool. But he's very cluster brain, so like he has like movies going on. Like he actually broke into the novel era with the Strain novels that he wrote.
Oh yeah, that's his TV show. He's like an executive producer on the Strain.
Yeah,
right?
but he wrote the novels that the show is based on. So it's just I feel like he's one of those people who would have like this massive hype train going for him, and then it would just be for something we may or may not ever get to see.
Yeah, I mean, that's all games. You know,
yeah,
like
that's true.
I'm not really too worried about that stuff anymore. Like that's why, like E3, I really enjoy watching. And I enjoy watching all the big press conferences. But unless I see set dates, or unless I see something that's like, oh, this Halo's God of War, these will come out at some point, I don't really put a lot of hope or faith into it.
Right.
When I was younger, that used to affect me a lot more. I don't know if you remember a game called True Fantasy Live Online.
No.
It was supposed to be on the original Xbox. It was like a JRPG, MMORPG. It looked amazing. It got canceled, and I remember being like, oh, man, it's a bummer. Also, I don't know if you remember the original Fable was supposed to be 4-player cooperative.
Was it?
Yeah, it was supposed to be amazing. Anyways, so I don't put, it's been what, probably 14 years since those days, maybe even 16 years. I don't put a lot of faith in that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But hey, let him try. Let him hopefully make a good game. I don't even have a lot of faith that Kojima's Death Stranding is going to be great. Only because, man, like I didn't love Metal Gear Solid 5. So why is Death Stranding going to be any better than that?
Do you think that we're going to be able to see some gameplay this year at any time?
No. I think maybe next year we'll see some gameplay. This ridiculous media circuit hype for a game. I mean, this is almost the same to me as Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, stop showing it to us. You're not making it.
Because it feels like...
I mean, I guess you're making it, but
yeah,
it's not coming
true.
out soon.
I feel like the window is now very small, though, for this game to come out. Because there's talks of 2020 being, like, maybe seeing the peak of the next... Or not peak, but the birth of the next console generation. Possibly.
Yeah. We talked about that last week. Yeah, that's definitely a total possibility. I don't think Death Stranding has to be a PS4 game, though. There's what's to say it's not going to be PS5.
That's a good point.
I think Last of Us 2 will probably be a PS4 game, but I don't think Death Stranding will.
That's a good point. I guess I want to close this out by saying that like video games have really become a great medium for storytelling.
Yeah.
And it really is the next evolution in as far as like creatives go, because you can do things in like shows and movies, and now thanks to the internet, like we have a bunch of more indie makers than ever before, and that's fantastic. But video games, it has now become accessible to people who don't have the budget to make a AAA title, and even some of these indie games are looking, they're almost at the quality of like a AAA title. So if you just goes to show, if you put enough hours into it, like you could literally do anything. So I'm super stoked about what the future holds. If and if Guillermo del Toro wants to be a part of that future, then I'm all for it. But I'm excited to see like where this is going now that we have somebody like Guillermo del Toro expressing interest. Who knows when maybe like Chris Nolan might get interested in that type of thing further down the line. It's exciting to think about. For sure, it is exciting to think about. I just I say let all the auteurs come in and do it. And you're right. They're, indie games and these things are becoming better looking than ever. I don't know if you remember the news story from, I want to say it was almost 2 years ago. It was before Final Fantasy 15 even came out, about the guy who was making a Final Fantasy 15 or Final Fantasy style game. And he was from Korea. It was one dude by himself. And he made this game, and it literally looks better than Final Fantasy 15 does. What happened to it?
I think he's still making it. It's just when you're one dude, it takes, those teams are hundreds.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to take him a long time. But, the way I look at it is like, Guillermo del Toro, give him money. Because, I don't want to see games go anywhere. And as they get more and more and more expensive, it's going to probably be auteurs who have the money and the skill, who have made blockbuster movies, and are like, well, hey, video games make billions of dollars. Yeah, if your game is good, it can make billions of dollars, but that's not even guaranteed if it's good.
Yeah.
We've seen recent Wolfenstein games and such not even hit their expected, sales numbers.
And that's sad. Like the movies that are not movies, but movies too, I guess, but video games that are critically well received by critics just don't do so well among the casual gamer.
Yeah, it's a frustrating thing, but that's just the way everything is, there are musicians and movies and authors that may write and do great things, but a lot of it is also how much visibility do they have.
Right.
Did you have more to add about Guillermo?
No, that's it.
So really this week, we would have a news section. This is a really strange episode of Super BS. We're recording in the late in January. We recorded 4 days previously. Donna and old Davey aren't here, so there's no stock corner, which we'll miss. Hopefully we'll have it next week.
They had a book signing that they both had to be at.
Yeah, they both had a book signing.
Yeah.
Probably in a week or two, everything will kind of get back to normal. But beyond this port might come to Switch, there's really no news. And there were no big enough ports that I was like, since last week, we talked about the mini direct. We talked about Nintendo Labo. We talked about the rumors. Is there anything news related that you wanted to bring up?
I mean, no, not right now. I know that, like, you know, as I mentioned before, PUBG banned a bunch of people, but like I don't play it, so that doesn't really affect me much.
So I played PUBG. I mean, yeah, it's an online game. Those games ban people all the time. It's, you know, we don't have a super big esports presence. It's not because we hate online games, but just because, one, they take a lot of time. Like, I mean, there are literally video game outposts journalists and sites that they have a dedicated person sometimes do one game. Sometimes they have the League of Legends guy or the Dota guy or the Overwatch person. We're obviously a small group. We don't do that. But, I mean, we could talk about the Overwatch League and the Shanghai Dragons losing a 0-4. They've lost their first 3 or 4 matches. They've never won a game yet. And they had to apologize because they supposedly have only been getting like 3 hours of sleep a night and all this craziness.
Yeah, and I know one of their players got, like, he's caught on live TV, like, making some kind of, like, inappropriate slur while he was playing.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Things are a lot different over there in China. But honestly, we don't have a lot to say there. None of us, I don't know about you, but I don't actually watch the Overwatch League very much.
Because I don't play that much Overwatch. Like, I got into it when it first came out, but I just never had that much. I do, like, at E3 last year, I did watch, like, some of the live Street Fighter competitions. They were cool, but I don't have much stake in any of that stuff.
Yeah, it's really, you know, it's strange. January's just that weird time of the year where, like, nothing is happening.
Yeah.
So beyond, like, these esports tournaments, there's really not a whole lot to talk about. I just wanted to bring us on so we could talk with you guys and share our opinions about things. But there's actually something video game adjacent, similarly again, that you wanted to talk about.
I did, and now that we have, you know, I figured it's a slower show, we have some time to talk about some stuff we wouldn't otherwise. I want to talk about video game to film adaptations.
That's a weird one. Yeah, it's definitely more the other way, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's, I know, right?
It's normally film to video game.
But, like, both of them, neither of them, like, ever have, like, stunning results, you know?
Did you ever play the Chronicles Riddick game? That game
I did.
is
that was
so
a
awesome.
lot of fun.
That game is amazing.
And I liked how it tied the movies together.
I've heard the Mummy Demastered, I've heard is really good.
Is it?
Yeah, the one on Switch and Xbox and all that stuff, like the 2D Metroid style game.
Yeah.
I've heard that's great. You're right. There's not a lot. Most of the time when we were kids, they were coming out and they're like, this is a good movie game. That's crazy. Because, like, you had Spider-Man 2, one Hulk game. Right. You know, most of them are trash.
Yeah.
But you wanted to, you were talking about the new Tomb Raider coming out?
Yeah, specifically I want to talk about Tomb Raider. It looks like it's set to kind of break the mold, I think, because I imagine the studio has a lot of faith in what they're doing. If they went out and got, like, a high caliber actress like Alicia Vikander, who has actually been, you know, she's won awards. I think that they
for Ex Machina, an amazing movie.
Yeah, and they have a lot of faith in what they're doing. So I'm imagining this could break the mold. And, like, Walter Goggins, I think is his name, who plays the villain.
I don't know. That's a weird name.
They have
Walter Goggins.
He was in Justified, and he's the Predators
everywhere.
Goggles, yeah. He but yeah, like, the source material for the game is really good. And for the movie, I know they're taking elements from both games and putting it.
Really,
into
I thought it was just the reboot.
So the villain is named Matthias, and he's the villain in the reboot of Tomb Raider. But the organization is called Trinity, and they're the villains from the second game.
So me and Donna talk about this a lot in our backlog chat. Are you sure Trinity wasn't in the first game?
I don't know. I
think they were. I think they were hinted at.
Because they never talked about how Matthias got onto the island.
Okay, so I think unlike the second one where it's like, oh, Trinity's bad, I think they're in the first game, but I don't think they're actually like focused on. Me and Donna talk about this a lot in the backlog chat, so I don't want to talk about it too much here, but I think they've been the villain. I think they've been there in the previous Tomb Raiders before they did the reboot, so they just kept them.
Okay. Hey, I mean,
so
I'll have to go back and play again.
Is there anything else though from Rise of the Tomb Raider that they might have taken?
No, I mean, I don't. The whole thing with Laura and her dad, you know, trying to find out, you know, what happened to him and where he went. And I'm curious. I don't know like much about, you know, they had mentioned the Devil's Sea, and that was from the first one.
Yeah.
But I'm more curious to see like how this is going to do, because video game movies automatically have that bad stigma of like people wanting to go in and critique the hell out of these things. They want to go in, they want it to be bad. And like, did you ever see the Assassin's Creed movie?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I didn't think that it was a bad movie. I know a lot of people hated it because like they're like, oh, it's a video game movie, and they assumed that you played the games. You know, that was kind of their thing. But like, I didn't think it was that bad. As somebody who had played the games, I thought that was a nice little set piece to add into the universe.
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch it, I guess, for free. It just, I hated the way it looked like it was, at least the color saturation. Like, I hated it.
Yeah,
like, all the brown, dirty, ugly looking. It's like, come on. Like, it doesn't need to be Avatar, but, like,
Right.
just normal saturation would have probably been better.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I've heard mixed things. I've heard it's not bad. Like, I've heard it's not, like, good, but I've heard it's not bad. I liked the World of Warcraft movie. I'll go out there and say that. Like, I think it was fun. Or is it just Warcraft? I think it's just Warcraft.
It's Warcraft. But see, that's another one with me that it was visually stunning, but like I didn't like it, and not because of the story, but because I've never been immersed into that universe, so I didn't know much about it going in. So I was more upset that I was confused at it.
So I've played World of Warcraft for about a year and a half, a long time ago, maybe 2 years even. And I played Warcraft 3, so I knew some of the characters, but I didn't know all of them. Like, I didn't know most of them. I just thought for how much it was getting railed on, like, I expected it to be like, you know, The Room level of bad film. But it's just not a great, I mean, to me, honestly, it's not much worse than like a Greatest Showman style film where it's like, here's a really cheesy plot like that is not really, you know, Greatest Showman's not really based on reality. Like, you know, like neither of them are really based on actual true things. His Greatest Showman takes place on Earth. That's about the only other thing.
Yeah.
And it's supposedly as a real person that they totally twisted the story of.
It's not actually based on real orcs?
It's not based on real orcs.
Okay,
there are a few orcs in the film, but they're not real orcs.
Real. Okay. No orcs were harmed in the making of that film.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I can't say it was like a good movie, but I don't think it was the trash fire that people said it was.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, there's unfair expectations, especially among like video game fans, is that like we are always going to critique everything. Like, we're going to critique it really bad. You're never going to please anybody. Like, especially with Warcraft. Like, you have people who are so hardcore about that.
Well, I heard the fans of the game actually really liked it. I heard the people that didn't like it were all the film critics.
Yeah.
But you know what? No, I don't want to get too... We've talked a lot about film this episode, but one thing I want to bring up is Bright. Did you watch that?
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty good.
It was really good.
Critics hated it. I think fantasy stuff, for the most part, outside of Lord of the Rings, gets a really, really hard critical... Like, I know you like this movie. I didn't watch it. I thought it didn't look as bad as people said it was. The... what's it called? With the dragons, King Arthur movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Guy Ritchie one? Yeah.
Yeah, fantasy stuff just gets panned, man.
It does.
I think it's because there's enough people. We have a buddy who does not like fantasy or science fiction stuff, and there's some people just like that, and they won't even give it a shot, but they're film critics, so they have to go.
Do you think that has anything to do with people comparing modern fantasy stuff to Game of Thrones?
Maybe, because Game of Thrones is so different, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, like, I don't want to devolve too much into this film.
Go,
did you have anything else to add about the new Tomb Raider besides just, I heard the new trailer came out this week and I heard it was cool?
Yeah, no, it was cool, and it kind of elaborated, because the first trailer showed more of the, it made it, you're rolling through tombs, like stuff from the video game, but like this one kind of fleshed out the story a little bit better, and, I think that I'm almost, I can say that Tomb Raider is going to do for women stars like something that Wonder Woman couldn't even touch.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know about that, but I definitely think it's a good movie. I'm planning on watching it. Like, Wonder Woman was, man, this is another thing. This is a whole barrel that we could jump into.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too far into it, but Wonder Woman was sexist as well. A lot of people talk about it as a very liberated film for women. It has a lot of sexist moments. So.
I wasn't a huge fan of it.
I thought it was fun to watch. It's definitely not as great as people said it was, like the second coming of superhero films, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I think with that, man, we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah.
I mentioned, Donna and Dave aren't here. They want to come, but one of them was sick. The other one's got a crazy week. We'll hopefully get back to the normal stock corner. We got a ton of stuff planned for you guys. Like, I feel like I've been recording podcasts every day the last couple weeks. I haven't.
It's exciting. Real quick, if you guys are listening to us on the Podcast Radio Network, we would greatly appreciate it if you could go onto our social media pages and maybe like us or subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, even if you are listening to us live on your way home from work or something.
Just while you're driving.
Go into iTunes, hit subscribe, just so we...
Drive 80, though, okay? And swerve while you're driving.
And make sure you're not looking at anything. You're just trying to guess where the buttons are.
Yeah, and make sure you're not looking at the road mainly, he means.
No,
Look at your
but
phone.
it helps us out to know who's listening, how many people are listening. Gives us some motivation. And if you can listen to us on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, podcast.com, and you can watch our stuff on YouTube, or if you're watching on Facebook Live right now, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's awesome. And, we appreciate you guys listening to us. We plan on doing this for at least quite a bit of while. But yeah, email us at superbscast@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook or whatever those things are. We got a lot of stuff coming out for you guys this year. We want to make it really awesome. The more people that listen, the more opportunities we get to go to like E3 and talk to other people and give, I guess it's more like, hey, if you want to hear opinions of us, then please keep it up because we really appreciate it. And yeah, we're going to keep doing this for quite a bit of time.
What?
Thank you, my bros.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh, yeah.
That's to us people that can feel things. It hurts.